Hey everybody, welcome back to House of Grey Rabbit. I'm your host, as always, Grey Rabbit 80, and Prom Tom.
How y'all doing?
I keep, like the introduction just kind of gets older and older. I gotta figure out a different way to introduce you. So, anyway, hope you guys have been having a good day and everything. We're back this week. Unfortunately, we haven't found another envelope. This one just basically says HGR on it, and some horrible handwriting, but let's see. It's got a note. If I can get it unfolded. And it says, House of Grey Rabbit, you guys must watch Alien vs. Hunter, and you must also do the review for the last week of watching The Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt. I'll put that up for you guys to see. So I figure the mouse has struck again. And it's making us... Now, here's what happened. Last week, we watched The Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt.
Yes.
Just because it was kind of on our doorstep, we just found it. And I was so tired, and I was so just put up with having to do these weird movies for this mouse person, or M, or whatever you want to call them. I refused to do the review. I actually told Prom I'm going to bed. We ended up not doing a review, so... we decided that since we're having to do two, that we're going to do another double feature. And if anybody ever watched our first double feature, you can find it down below in the playlist. Mm-hmm. And that will be for Camera Phone and Camera Phone 2. So hopefully, I know better, because AVH is an asylum movie, Prom. It's an asylum movie. I don't know who you think you are. This isn't funny anymore. We'll be right back.
Come on, we gotta go!
Oh my god, the first one. Keep in mind, I watched this a week ago, so I had to we had to touch up on this a little bit. We had to go back and kind of go through it real quickly. Yeah. We should have went quickly through it the first time. It's bad in fast forward. It was worse when it was... It's bad. Oh god, The Killer Eye... Halloween Haunt, which is technically The Killer Eye 2. I don't own The Killer Eye 1, thank God, because I'd probably set it on fire and roast myself in the flames.
And then they decided to make a second one.
And so let's talk about the cast of Killer Eye 2, Halloween Haunt. Now keep in mind, it's not called Killer Eye 2. We will refer to it as Killer Eye 2 throughout the review, but it's actually Killer Eye... or The Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt.
Yes.
Just so we have everything out there.
Yes.
If you've never watched The Killer Eye 1 and you decide to watch The Killer Eye 2, don't worry, there's nothing connecting the two of them. There's no reason the second one should start the way it does. The plots have nothing to do with each other than The Killer Eye.
Because I never saw the first one, so I don't...
Now keep in mind... we're talking about a full moon picture here. And we'll get back into how important this is later on in the review. But let's talk about the cast before we go any further with The Killer Eye 2. And once again, nicknames are important. First off, we have the final girl. We'll refer to her as Blondie. Okay?
Yes.
Blondie, she's got 3 friends.
Yes.
Okay? We have...
Smart girl?
Smart girl. Lesbian girl.
Yeah, lesbian girl.
And then... easy girl. There's another girl, but she comes later in the whole thing. Basically, they are invited to Blonde Girl's house to help decorate for Halloween.
Yes, because her and her mom run a Halloween haunted house.
And they do this every year, and it brings in some of their income, but the mother is out for the week visiting someone that's in the hospital.
I think it's her sister.
Yeah, it's the aunt or something.
Yeah.
Somebody say hey!
This party started.
Actually, I thought we'd have a girls' night.
So they're invited over to help decorate, which turns into, let's get boozed up and party. Throughout the first 20 minutes of this movie, and for the entire run, you are peppered throughout this haunted house with pieces of full moon memorabilia and merchandise and stuff like that. It's like a big commercial.
Yeah, for every movie.
For everything Full Moon's ever made, right?
In one
movie.
Yes.
They decide to watch the killer eye, which they found on DVD, which apparently is like the super duper expensive like special edition because it comes with a killer eye prop.
Ooh.
To which Blondie says they can't watch the movie unless the killer eye watches too. They begin to watch the movie, which is just a rehash. Of course, it's the first movie just chopped up and shown, and so you get all these stupid parts of the first movie about the killer eye having sex with people trying to... No. I'm not even going to talk about the first movie because we're talking about the second movie, okay?
Which is even worse.
Oh. After all this, the killer eye on the movie somehow transfers its essence to the prop. It hypnotizes without getting into the meat and potatoes of how it does it. It shoots something into the prop of the killer eye, and the killer eye prop comes to life and decides to roam around and kill people or have sex with them.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have to rewind. We just said that. Not only is it trying to kill people, trying to sex. Apparently in the first movie, it did this a lot because it was from the 8th dimension and it was trying to impregnate as many women from our dimension as possible.
To make more killer eyes.
But that's the last movie. Once again, we're talking about Killer Eye 2, Electric Boogaloo. No.
What is it? The killer eye,
There's a scene where Blondie and like the lesbian girl like hook up, and then the other girl, the smart girl, finds them and makes them stop, and then the killer eye has sex with the lesbian girl and kills her, and then it kills the easy girl, and then Giselle shows up.
The party girl.
The party girl. Now, she wasn't invited because apparently her and the blonde girl don't get along. I don't know. It's a very complicated thing.
Stupid movie.
This is why I never understood women growing up, really, I think. Point is, other people start dying. Fast forward to the next 20 minutes of the movie, which is just people coming back to life and trying to kill other people, and then some of them wanting to have sex. Okay. This was not an X-rated film.
No.
This movie is not rated, but contains so much explicit material that, it would, oh my god.
With the eye?
It's bad.
I bought it at the Dollar General store
For $5.
for $5, and they didn't even card me. So anyway, blonde girl is being chased by the eye. It's about to kill her. It is reanimating one of her friends to try to seduce her and kill her also. Finally, Giselle shows up when they figure out that using a welding mask protects you from its hypnotic gaze, and she smashes it, only to have her and Blondie walk over and stare at the crystal ball and make some look like, huh?
What is it?
And that's the end of the movie. At the end of the first movie, they did something the same way. They did this blind like, oh? And then they never followed up with anything. So I guess they were trying to go in the same limelight with this one. Oh god. Killer Eye. This movie just makes you want to bash your head against a brick wall. And I was the one that refused to do the review. It was that bad. I mean, I had worked all day. I come home, and here we are. It makes no sense. There is no visible plot. There's no visible reason for anything. There's no reason why the eye can reanimate a puppet.
Yeah, or other people. It's just bad.
So this is a full moon film. We should know everything about full moon films because me and Prime quite possibly funded 90% of what Full Moon did in the 90s by renting their movies all the time.
Yes, every weekend.
But we lived on a steady diet of Full Moon from the very beginning. I mean, the Subspecies films, all the Puppet Masters, Demonic Toys, Doll Man
versus Demonic Toys,
Arcade. You remember Arcade?
Yeah.
That was like one of my favorites growing up was Arcade.
There's tons of them.
There were literally, we rented every single one of them. We went to our local video store, which is right down there, and for $1 a piece, we rented these Full Moon pictures. We went home and we watched them on Friday and Saturday nights all the time. And me and that was one of the things we just did was we watched Full Moon, and then when Full Moon, like when it got to the point where they would sell Full Moon, like they would be like, we don't want these anymore, we're getting rid of these. We'd be like, we'll take them home. I have tons and tons of stuff that I bought, not knowing it was Full Moon. Get it home and pop it in and be like, hey, it's the Full Moon picture, no wonder. Unfortunately, in the future, we have this era where Full Moon basically just goes around and finds an independent artwork, such as like Killjoy, which is a mediocre movie, and buys the rights to it, and then takes it over and makes sequels to it. That can lead to some great things. I mean, I enjoy all the Killjoy movies. Point is, you get to fall into some of these categories where the Killer Eye, though, the first one was made by Full Moon. Like, it was a Full Moon picture. And then the second one, which was also a Full Moon picture, was garbage. And I grew up at a time, like, when we were in high school and when we were in college, like, I wanted to be in the filmmaking business. And I always thought, like, my heart of hearts, like, if I could find a job nowhere, I could call Full Moon up and be like, man, I know everything in your catalog. I have seen it all. And they just give me a job. No. And you know what? If I had, they never would have made Killer Eye 2. Because I'd have burned every copy known to man before it made to post-production. It's bad. So I'll give it a quick rating, and then we'll dive into the other movie. So, 1 out of 10. Killer Eye 2, Electric Boogaloo. Excuse me, the Killer Eye Haunted Halloween. 1 out of 10, what do you give it, Prime?
1.
1. 1 what?
1 Killer Eye.
Since that's all there is in the movie is 1 Killer Eye. I give it 1 Killer Eye too. Not 1 Killer Eye, but 1 Killer Eye also. The only reason to watch Killer Eye, the second one, is just for the only reason to watch it's for the nudity and the bad jokes.
And there were a lot of them.
And we're dudes, and we're sorry. Let's get out of this one. Let's go dive into that heaping golden mound that is that Asylum film.
Oh, Alien versus Hunter.
Alien versus Hunter. We'll be right back. This is your intermission.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
I'm going to hunt down the Asylum. And I'm going to make them watch, like, They and stuff.
You wonder, after they make these movies, do they watch their own movies?
No, I guarantee what they do is they're just like, there's one. Let's go get our money.
Yeah, that's about.
Let's go buy Range Rovers and stuff, and let's go wave riders and smoke cigarettes and
Pontoons.
Pontoons. Do not watch Alien versus Hunter.
It makes no sense.
There is not a lick of the following that we are about to tell you that makes any sense whatsoever. You have been warned. If you value your health, you shall turn away now. Go watch puppy videos.
And kitty cats.
Go watch anything.
But
do not watch AVH, Alien versus Hunter by the Asylum. So now time for our review. This one, when it was over, made me physically have a stomachache. Like, just getting up and walking back over here, I felt ill. Like, that's how bad this movie is. First off, it's Asylum. So we should have just thrown it on top of the crap sundae already, because it's Asylum. In the first 5 seconds of the movie, as the credits are playing, we see a familiar name, and that's William Catt. After seeing William Catt, I was like, wait a minute, the greatest American heroes in this show? And hope opened up, and a little tiny ray of sunshine shined through. Is this little tiny
and then it went away.
And then all the rest of the movie just dumped poop right on top of it. If anybody doesn't know who William Catt is, first off, fascinating fact, he was actually one of the guys that auditioned to be Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, and lost it to, of course, Mark Hamill. But if you don't know who he is still, and some of you may notice him better some of you may know him better if he looked like this. Yeah, with that kind of hair and that baby face, for many many episodes with Robert Culp, he was the greatest American hero. And if you want to value him as a person, as an actor, go watch that show. But, and this is the big but, this movie is horrible. It contradicts itself every 5 minutes. Characters will say things and then assert themselves in a different way, only to restate the same thing in the first place. And basically, I'm going to sum it up because I don't want us to go too far into this gobbledygook that is this movie. But you have William Katt, whose character is a journalist, who's basically he's trying to get back on his feet.
Yeah.
And then you have a string of people who don't matter. Pretty much, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, there is William Katt and then crap. Like, nobody else in the entire thing. It's not even worth going into the plot point by point by point, other than saying these people don't matter, because either you are introduced to them and then they die, or you're introduced to them and then you don't pay attention to them and then they die.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
And then you have the alien, and then you have the hunter.
Who are they're both Power Ranger villain knockoffs. The alien seems to be a xenomorph made out of cauliflower.
And a half spider.
And sometimes a half spider. Let's talk about these aliens. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the part that doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's talk about the alien's abilities, shall we? Okay? First, it's got tentacle-like arms. That half the time you don't see the tentacle. It also has a spider-like body that apparently can shift from 2 legs to 8 legs with a thorax.
Yeah.
Although the first time you see the spider-like body, it's just a spider. There's no alien body on top of it.
And then when you see the alien, he's on 2 legs.
But then you see him with a spider body, where he's like a centaur. He looks like a Drider from D&D is what it reminds me of.
With praying mantis arms.
But the problem of this is that same shot of the alien spider running from left to right is used like every chance they can get.
Yeah.
And this is what I brought up later in the movie, and this is what I think happened. There are very few times, even though there's weapons throughout this movie, there are very few times you ever see a weapon shot. Secondly, there's the time when the spider first shows up and it hits the van and supposedly knocks over the van, but you don't really see it because it cuts back to William Katt and the girl going, "Oh my gosh!" But it doesn't show what's happening behind them. Yeah. So what it is this is the way we make money, is by not showing all the stuff that would cause us to lose money. And so, like, rarely do guns fire. Rarely do you see the alien except from, like, the chest up. You see the hunter a lot. Yeah. Which I was calling him, like, Iron Man Yojimbo, if anybody gets those references.
And he can't shoot worth a flip.
Oh. This just goes on and on. People die. One guy is completely ready to go find his wife.
And then 5 seconds later, we're going to stay inside.
Only to later then quiet everybody down when they argue to tell him how they're going to go find his wife.
And then stay inside again. And then he dies.
And it literally, it'll say this, and then say that. And they'll go back and say this again, and it makes no sense whatsoever. There's a whole group of, like, just stupidity in this movie, which you can't even cough up to goofs. This is just bad writing mixed with cheap movie making. This movie was basically pulled out of somebody's tail end and then slapped together because they say, hey, they're making an Alien versus Predator movie.
Let's do this.
Give me some ideas. Alien, Awake Mars made out of cauliflower.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a hunter, but we'll do it real cheap. So they'll look at that kid show, Power Rangers. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
because if we do too much, then we'll get sued.
Right.
Because of the fact that we're worthless.
How much money are you using again?
$500,000.
$500,000. That'll go to buy William Katt off.
Yes, basically.
seriously Asylum.
And like I said before, whenever I mean that the hunter cannot shoot, it showed him twice. Once shooting at the alien, and because it's of course laser beams, going around the alien. Then he tries to shoot Valentine, and does the exact same thing.
I also saw one shot which I asked Prime in the middle of watching it, did the hunter just shoot the alien from his butt? Because the shot resembled the blaster bolt coming from the area of his butt. Now I think this was like he was shooting this way.
Yeah.
And the gun just happened to be that flow, but it was out of frame, and it just accidentally looked that way. But let's not look for the glaring problem that is William Katt's wardrobe. The movie starts out with William Katt jogging
Yes.
with his iPod in his ear. So he does not notice the giant spaceship crashing behind him, to which he has a small conversation with a cop, who then takes him to go check on some people.
He doesn't even have a police unit. It's just a Jeep. And you don't even see the siren.
Yeah, the siren's going off, but there's no siren, there's no lights on the vehicle.
Yeah.
And then they're like, got the siren fixed?
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they go to see these people who end up dead because that's when the spaceship crashed in their house, right? The cop gets killed. That's where we meet the first young lady that's trying to find her mom, right?
And that's when you see the alien.
Right. And he goes inside and he calls the paper to tell them that aliens have landed and that he's got this scoop. They argue about whether or not they're going to go find the girl's mom. And then remember, he was jogging in a red sleeveless shirt that was very, very drenched in sweat.
And shorts.
The next time we see him, which is following, he's like, we're going, blah. And they leave the house. He is going down a hillside with her. She's dressed just the same. And he's in a button-down shirt that's blue and pants.
And you never saw him change clothes.
Now, I can suspend my disbelief and say, well, he probably decided to get out of it. But where were these other clothes? He was at somebody else's house.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, the most glaring thing is, as soon as they get cell reception, which he just magically takes the phone from her and goes, I have cell reception.
Yeah.
That was for dramatic purposes, by the way. That's not
true.
exactly what it is. But it is what happens.
Yeah,
and then he says, it's okay. Meet us. We're on the side of the highway.
They're not even they're in the freaking woods.
They are nowhere near the highway. They're on a dirt path.
Yeah.
And then they finally come to the woods, and she keeps asking to stop because she's tired. Blah. There's no reason we should go over this. Let's go right to the end of the movie. Very end of the movie, they blow the alien up by shooting it one time.
Now, mind you, they shot him with AR-15s and pistols. Didn't do nothing.
By the way, which in the very beginning they said, we'll just use guns. And William Katt goes, guns won't work, the bullets won't work, but they never tried before.
Yeah.
But when they try, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then they shoot him once.
And
we're talking about a movie where when you get shot by an alien weapon, you don't vaporize in like a bunch of like pieces, or you don't burn away. You literally get cut out of the movie. As in, like, you're there, they stop the camera, remove you, and then they start again.
They copy and paste out of the movie.
They don't even do that. They just do that old school trick you learn when you're 5 and you have a camera where you're like, I can pause and then move you away, and it looks like you disappeared.
And then the best part about the whole movie, that you find out the hunter comes into his ship, takes off his helmet, and he's a human smoking a cigarette.
Boom, boom, boom. And that's the end of the movie.
What the hell?
So, what do you want to rate Alien vs. Hunter from the Asylum, Prime?
Well, being that IMBD gave it a 1.5 out of 10, I ain't going there. -1. For the fact that the hunter is supposed to be an alien species. If you're going to make a knockoff movie about an alien hunter, guess what? Make it a damn alien hunter, not a human smoking a cigarette and saying, yeah, I'm ready to go home.
My kid needs more armor. I'm going to give it a roundabout -2. Just because I want to undermine Prime on this one, because he was so adamant about it. Asylum, go burn your own studio down. Do something. Quit making trash. If they do, we're just going to keep watching it. Here's the problem. I really think they're listening. For all I know, Mouse works for it. It's because, I made those comments about not talking about Asylum. Thanks, guys, for sitting through your second double feature. Remember, if you want to watch our first double feature, which was Camera Phone 1 and 2, check out the playlist below. It's got everything in it, all the way back to the very first episode of the channel. This one, however, was Killer Eye, Haunted Halloween, Alien vs. Hunter.
Run.
Whatever. Should have been called Cauliflower Onion Head versus Smoking Man. Anyway, thanks guys once again for sitting through another set of horrible movies. Like I said, thanks for, this has been your double feature number 2. If you guys own either one of these movies, if you've seen any one of these movies, or if you go out, please, God, don't go out and buy these films, then please feel free to leave a comment down below.
And if you have any suggestions for us, just let us know.
Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. And remember that if you want to be notified every time we do make a new video, please hit the notification bell. And on top of that, punch the like button in the face for us, guys. We could really use it. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching House of Grey Rabbit. We'll be seeing you.